Okay, hi everyone. Back with 3 killer whiskies, 3 top 5 whiskies from 2024 and 2023. If I take the 3, they were all awarded by me. So it's Rampur, of course, from India. I already talked to you about in previous videos. What I'm gonna do this time, and I did some comparisons behind the scenes to win a bit of time. We're still gonna do one now, but basically I have here 2 Jugalbandis, the Jugalbandi 4 from last year, which was awarded second position as Whiskey of the Year 2023, which was already huge. Jugalbandi 5, which I thought would be 1, but it's in second position 2024, and a Single-Cask store pick for La Maison du Whisky, which is finally my Whiskey of the Year, so number 1. An embarrassment of riches for this amazing distillery. And while I already did an introduction to the distillery last year for the video of the Jugalbandi 4, I'm gonna still do, for those who don't want to refer to other videos because my videos are long, etc., for any reason, I'm gonna still give you a few facts about the distillery. But first I have to do 2 disclaimers and a thank you, a big thank you. First disclaimer, I'm using Spiegelau glasses from Ravinet d'Arc, French distributor. It's a partnership. They provide me glasses if mine are broken or need others. It's a partnership, very simple. I already approved it prior to contact them, and they asked me to visit, etc. I talked about it in another video. So it's really a glass that I really love. I will do a comparison video with it's a second part. I will do glassware number 2 with several glasses from them and from others too. I have another type of glass. I don't use usually Glencairn. I enjoy them every now and then, and I also collect them if I find them in distilleries, etc. So this one is from So Whiskey, from my pal Cedric, that you can see here, who is in Bordeaux. I'm in Paris. He does with his association masterclasses, visits, events, and also he is So Whiskey. He's also running the French celebration there of French whiskies, spirits and other whiskey and other spirits, sorry. Plus on top of that, he's gonna do salon, a French show in Bordeaux later on this year, with the French touch, as he says. And this will be the comparison whiskey I will show you later on. Because I want to have the same glasses for the Rampurs to compare them. Also among disclaimers, this bottle, the Jugalbandi 5, was offered by the distillery because of a very special situation there, where I thought it would be my Whiskey of the Year, and for still mysterious reason it is not available. You cannot find, except the store pick in France and in Europe, I think, as well. There's a problem of distribution from certain distilleries in Asia, not only Rampur, to AU. Don't know what's going on again. So I was going to do, I postponed my Whiskey of the Year video 1 month almost, just to get the bottle, and I wanted to ask them for a sample, if possible, to review them, review it more precisely, and instead they send a bottle, which is very kind. So again, thank you Anup, Master Blender. Thank you Kunal, sales manager, also master distiller, I think, Anup, and Sanjeev Banga, the president of the parent company. So thank you very much. This didn't alter my decision. even more. The evidence is, if it was a biased 100% biased review, it will be my number one, but it is not. Okay, it's another Rampur, right? But it's something I noticed before. Anyways, so you know it. Right, to put a long story short now, very quick introduction again. I'm gonna try to switch to internet. I'm not sure it doesn't cut the video, hopefully not. Gotta go on the Whiskey Exchange page because I think it's the most comprehensive one. About Indian whiskey. So Indian whiskey, I mean 8 of the 10 best-selling whiskey brands, it's an old article, but in 2015 were made of India, with only Johnny Walker and Jack Daniels preventing a whitewash. Problem: what is Indian whiskey? To put a long story short, they can release bottles in India like Officer Choice with 400 million bottles, but it would still not make it to whiskey in Scotch Whisky Association regulation wise, because it's a mix of pre-blended Scotch whisky with different grain whisky and molasses, fermented molasses. So it is not whiskey as we know it here. It cannot be labeled legally. It has to call it spirit drink. What else? So the single malt here I'm talking about are only, it says on the label anyway, for overseas export only. Don't see if you see it because I don't see the camera right now. The barley also has to be, due to cooler temperatures, has to be exclusively it's not legal, but are exclusively grown in the north of the country, where also this distillery was located. So it's transported 1,500 miles for the Amrut and Paul Jones southern distilleries. And pitted whiskies since the beginning and still now, it's either peat or pre-smoked barley imported from Scotland. Yeah, also the Angel share is huge, like I said last time. I hope it didn't cut the video. Okay. Angel share, well, it's 2, 3, maximum 5%, but it's not often. In Scotland, it will be anyway 10 to 16% Angel share, so you get to have a cask if it's 10 years old. The aging is accelerated, and half of the cask will be empty. So that can explain also the fact that Indian whiskey is expensive, right? Also, to put a long story short, I'm just gonna speak about the distilleries of which I have whiskies already reviewed or yet to review. So to give you a historical, just little fact, Radico Kaitan, who does the Rampur and also a gin I'm going to show you. Radico Kaitan Limited is a big company. It does chemical, it does spirits, does lots of things. So not only whiskey. Is from 1943 in the north of the country, in Rajasthan. But whiskey only since 2016, if I'm not mistaken. While Amrut, which is in the south, except for the malting facilities, which is in the north, dates from 1918, but whiskey only since expert whiskey, single malt, since 2004. Also, as Radico Kaitan, they do other spirits. Paul John dates from, I think if I'm not mistaken, 1992, it's more recent, and 2012 for the whiskey, and it's located in Goa. Yeah, I forgot to say Rajasthan for Radico Kaitan, Bangalore, so south for Amrut, and west of India for Paul John. Not going to talk about Piccadilly Distillery, who does the Indri, because I haven't got a bottle from them, and I'm not. I spoke about it in the Whiskey of the Year video. What else? Production-wise, 125 millions of liters of alcohol per annum, which is huge, but it is not devoted all to single malt production. So 75 NAA, so neutral alcohol produced, plus 30 others which are not also mixed with molasses as the first category, and 460,000 liters only for RAMPUR Whiskey. Distillery does also a beautiful gin in a bigger bottle, black bottle, or this, which is a gold edition at 43%, which was also awarded from me in the top 5, if not top 3 gin video. Still have other gins to cover. I know I'm late. I think it's enough, 10 minutes plus. So we're gonna go first to explain to you what is the Jugalbandi series again, for those who don't have time to go to the other videos. So basically, while you see a note here, and it's a double maturation, yeah, where do you see a musical symbol here, it's because Jugalbandi means in French, jumeaux entrelacés, in English, intertwined twins. And the idea was to pay homage to the tradition of music in India, for traditional music to pair two instruments, which really struck a chord at me because I love Indian traditional music. So you can have tempura with sitar. I'm not going to go too much on music there. I would love to, but don't have time for that. And most, for me, interestingly, maybe sarangi, which is an instrument with a chord, and tabla, which is a percussion instrument, very famous, also used by foreign artists all over the world. You can have other instruments as well. So basically it's first fill bourbon, always for the Jugalbandi series, plus then you have a special finish. For the record, you see I'm going to be complete, except I forgot a picture of all. I'm not sure I have a picture of all 6, mind you. The first Jugalbandi, so number 1, was a Moscatel finish. Second was a Calvados finish. Couldn't try them. Didn't even know they did exist. The 3 was a port cask. I tried it. Nice one. The 4, so this one is an IPA cask finish. The 5 I'm gonna review also is a Tokaji finish. So Tokaji is a kind of Pinot Gris grape wine, white wine. Also, I talked about it, I think, in the live show. Some complicated things around the naming, the official name Tokaji, which is now forbidden outside of. When it's not Hungarian wine, you don't have the right normally to name it as a Tokaji. So it's, I don't know exactly for this one. I didn't have a lot of informations, but yeah, more likely to be white wine anyway. The 6, number 6, was a Madeira cask. I tried also, which was nice, but for some reason I preferred to get interested in the 5. It seems more aromatic, more powerful than the 6. So this one I review it again, so it's just going to be a quick tasting to compare it with the 5. Color wise, I don't know anything about color, but it's non-chill filtered. All their whiskies, of the high-end whiskies they have, are all non-chill filter, which is a good thing. But we're gonna get to the texture, except for the visual, which is very sticky. I don't know if you can see it. So yeah, lots of fat fat components, congeners, and yeah, amazing nose again. Visually, the 5 is a bit darker. You probably cannot see it there. I also wanted to say something about the bottles, because the bottles are tainted, right? I find it beautiful. I gave also an award for the packaging for this and the boxes, which are gorgeous. But if you, probably not at the camera, but if you see it, yeah, you can see it, it's very discreet. If you watch carefully, you can see the level. So it's less a problem than, for instance, the Brook Laddie, Classic Laddie, or Octomores, where you struggle to see the level. Again, it's a beautiful box. They have changed just the color. You have some nice Sanskrit writing there, and also always some information there. Yeah, solid box. Maybe part of the price. This one was $115 last year, which is not cheap, but remember, it's probably over 6 years old. The last one is 8 years old, so it's almost multiplied by 3 aging wise. It's more complicated than that, but yet it's quite an old whiskey, practically. Again, oh yeah, did I say, yeah, I said they were awarded. So I'm gonna go back to my spreadsheet. So yeah, no indication of age, once again. ABV 52.4, it's the lowest of the three. Also why I placed it first. Right, so on nose. The typical, very fragrant, some would call it perfumey, but it can be heady, but for me not heady in the sense you will have headache. But it's very powerful, so you have sandalwood, you have rosewood, but also it's very floral, it's rose petals. The IPA doesn't show much, but there is something going in on the buttery, caramelly side that can be related to the IPA. But you have that chocolate, apricot, lychee, brownie, you have paprika. I noted a lot of things. I don't have the time to smell it for an hour. I could. Caramel also. Yeah, very rich profile for this one. If I compare it on the nose, oh, this one is thickest and has even more chocolate in it, dark chocolate, and some mocha maybe. But I'm gonna go back to the nose. It's just a quick tasting of the three. Ah, this one is there's something more green, more vegetal in there. And the comparison whiskey, way more green. I did compare previously my Rampurs to rye whiskey, so today I'm gonna compare it to another monster, the Whistlepig Straight Rye from 10 years ago, probably 10 years old, 100% rye, 50% ABV. It was the only one that make it to the comparison. Today I compare it to this Dissertation G.P. Wiser's, which is gorgeous as well, but it's too low ABV to compare. Also this, which is 92 proof, 92 for 46.4. Beautiful masterpiece, Straight Rye from Michter's, also from 10 years ago. It's beautiful as well, but it cannot rival with the ABV, and it's a different mix. And it's not 100% rye. Okay, so we're gonna go quickly to the taste of the four. Now, cheers. Oh, it's dense, it's thick. The green element, some tea maybe, green tea and other kinds of black tea, is mixed with the caramel, which is quite prominent here. I think it's the influence of the IPA. That's something more leafy than expected, but I cannot be sure. But it's definitely different from the others. I'm going to compare the two when I will add water to the second. Again, there's super balance. There's something there which, yeah, the scoring, and I know my scoring is high compared to others. This would probably fetch an 89 or 90 for the people who likes this kind of whiskey and can understand it, which is two different things. Me, I went up to 95, but it's my way of scoring again. I did explain it already. So lots of exotic fruit again. There's something very rye indeed. That's mentholy side, but it's not overwhelming. There's also all these exotic fruit I already talked about. Maybe some mango here on top of the usual rose sherbet, I would say here. Rose, even some rose liqueur and guava, papaya, all lychee, all those Asian fruits, in fact. So yeah. So while there's all this exotic, very rye in a way things, there's also there's always this leafy green vegetal side, which is characteristic, but contrarily to a lot of rye, it's still balanced. Just a quick comparison with the Whistlepig. Ooh, way more leafy and spicy, but less fragrant. It cannot compete unless you have a Cask Strength rye. They cannot compete with this. It's my conclusion. Also, obviously, all the exotic profiles of these, sorry to be more personal, really struck a chord for me, because it reminded me of my work as a consultant for the creation of the Cuvée 1110. Yeah, so, but I have to be honest, with my own whiskey from a French distillery, which relies a lot of wine cask, on wine cask, for the entire maturing, it's obvious that the quality and the climate, it's way less concentrated. There might be more, it's not as beautiful cask and distillate. Also, the distillate of Northman is only let's say 1.5 distilled in a way, and it's an Armagnac still. And then you have a pot still with 2 distillation, and the aging here is concentrated way more the flavors, so it wins over it. Now, I haven't tried the Cask Strength, the batch strength version, which I only have me and the distiller, nobody else has it. But yeah, I mean, let's stay in Indian territory. So there you have it for this beautiful RAMPUR, and now the one I haven't reviewed yet. So the Tokaji finish, you have more details here, but not a lot of things are disclosed, I have to say. The company doesn't like to disclose about age, which I don't like, but considering it's a tropical Asian whiskey, I have a message I will see later on. It doesn't shock me not to have an age statement, and I would dare to say same for bourbons in a way, because the climate is different, the aging is different, so I have less expectations. So this one comes with a box that's more on the violety side. Again, thanks Cedric. And Cedric is gonna probably review the 3 because I sent him to thank him 3 samples of the 3 rampers I have. Was the least I could do, plus a bonus whiskey. I'm not gonna say what it is now. You might watch the video. Cédric, c'est pour toi. Santé. Oh, well, this one has something even more sexy than the previous one. On the nose, we're turning from caramel, from caramel to, oh, and I see I have very few notes on this, only on the nose. Yeah, there's dark chocolate and maybe some mocha that wraps the exotic fruits I talked to you before. There's still this sandalwood, maybe some acacia wood also. Ah, this glass is so good. Again, sticky legs, 5 out of 5 in terms of viscosity. Yeah, it's one of the datas I write on my spreadsheet, the viscosity. Yeah, so fantastic nose. I mean, very dense. There's nothing really can be compared with. Unless I tried every rye available in the world, which I can't. Okay, I don't want to build this video be too long. Okay, so again, there's a density, a leafiness, more sticky to the palate coming from the wine cask, I think. It's a rich wine anyway, it's okay. I have a Pinot Gris, so it's the same grape variety from Alsace region, Cask Strength finish of Hep Distillery. I didn't even think of, because it doesn't have the bourbon background this one has, so it's definitely different. The only thing I could sense is a familiarity in the leafy side, vegetal side of both. Our Hep Brut de Fût Cask Strength is more discreet than that, so comparison is less relevant. Another sip before I diluted. Highly concentrated. I think this one, maybe it's a too early review. Yeah, there's 6 CL left, 10 CL out, almost. Yeah, maybe 8. So it's a bit too soon. So it's still super concentrated. I'm gonna open it. This one is, by the way, 55.6. So it's higher than the 52.4 of the first Jugalbandi I review. Still, I will put a link to the full video of the Jugalbandi in the description and at the end. Put some water in it. It's opening up a bit more. This kind of whiskey, I apologize in advance, needs half an hour on the nose and half an hour on the palate and half an hour as a conclusion, playing with the water, etc., and with time. So it's necessarily going to be rushed. We're talking about big flavor monsters. Don't know how to call them. The 3 are Ace. Yeah, some chocolate, some tea leaves, some underwood notes, more than in the previous one. I mean, the way every note, vegetal, floral, fruity, there's something jammy, candied at the same time, super concentrated. Yeah, 95.5, I'm sorry. It's probably overrated, but yeah, this super impressive whiskey. Can still a bit of comparison with the Whistlepig. It's beautiful too, but it's different, definitely different. So yeah, Whistlepig Straight Rye, they have the honestly to say that it was at that time it's come from Canada, Alberta distillers. Now they do their own, but they were sourcing. So stated American, but with the honesty to say it's Canadian rye from Alberta distillers. Right. Yeah, so you have 2 reviews in one. Short, I will come back to Whistlepig later on if I can. So there you had it, a bit quick maybe, but for the RAMPUR, and I will compare it with this masterpiece I tried in last video about Whiskey Life, Whiskey Life Paris it was, and about my whiskies of the year, and this is my whiskey of the year. You see the box here again with more details. This one has a vintage and a higher ABV, you can see 2006-2024, 57.5, cask 995, but doesn't say how many bottles. Here are the official tasting notes. You can see I never look at them before trying. Comes also with a bag, a nice bag. Like I said last time, this one, just a parenthesis for the French. Si vous êtes français, vous avez jusqu'au 15 février pour aller à la Maison du Whisky Anjou, rue d'Anjou. Avant 19h, je vous conseille si vous pouvez. Un peu compliqué des fois, pour le goûter gratuitement. You can try this for free if you're in Paris at la Maison du Whisky up to the 15th of February. So, well, the bottle, I did purchase this one and the 4, forgot to say. This one I did an effort because usually I don't go over 100, 120, 130, let's say. Not often. I mean, maybe 4 times in my life I did over 130 for a whiskey. And this one is 179. It's very expensive. As often the La Maison du Whisky store picks, but it can be justified in a way because it's an 8 years old, so lost almost half of the cask when they bottled it. Anyways, Foundations range, it's a store pick range for La Maison du Whisky of 100 different single casks from a lot of distilleries, not only whiskies. Non-chill filtered again, bottling date, batch date, you have everything there. We don't know if it's color, but I don't sense it. Might still be there, but I don't know about that. They're not transparent about that. Too bad. But the whiskey, man, the whiskey. On the nose, it's so gorgeous. I mean, I could spend an hour with it. I could, like I said, I could sleep with a glass. This one takes it for me to another level. Complexity, elegance, refinement, maybe less thinner experience. I'm not even sure about that. Slightly astringency when you dilute it too much, but I mean, like I wrote, the best try you'll ever come across, maybe, or dream of. There's rose, lychee, strawberry confiture jam. There's raspberry, mûr, I think it's another berry. Cassis is blackberry. Lots of berries, but also a hint for me of not only rose, but I thought lily in the valley, or lys in French. There's some prune, some raisin I wrote, because it takes a lot of time to assess it. Again, on the palate, neat. It's so rich, it's so thick, it's so complex and elegant at the same time. It's it's a single cask, so normally it should probably not be as powerful as the two others. There's a thinness compared to the two others, but this is beyond a lot of whiskies all over the world. I'm gonna put a few drops. And also this might be the closest to the rye I have on the table, because there's something mentally, sorry for the noise. So with Cedric's glass I'm gonna try the again open up a bit the Whistlepig in comparison and finish with the this Single-Cask 995. Oh yes, that's beautiful. Those exotic fruit as well, exotic flowers. It's a bit subdued compared to the RAMPUR. See. So we'll finish with it. Oh. It's like if you had rose jam, lychee jam, guava jam maybe, green tea, black tea. Of course there are spices, always forgot to speak about spices, all kinds of spices, Sichuan pepper maybe on the three, so acidulous, a bit reddish, red fruitish pepper. Always forget to speak about that. But it's supremely exotic, and there's something I don't know how they do that, because this one, forgot to say, it's a first fill bourbon cask and that's all, but it's still super identifiable as RAMPUR. So there is a distillery house style for me, which is, dare I say, yes, superior to Amrut and Paul John and Indri. I mean, every other Indian distillery. They can't compete. There's something that's less oaky, that's less fainty. Paul John, something can be tough. Distillate, especially young and not those who don't have great cask. The distillate doesn't always comes across as the best it could be. I don't know. I have two beautiful, have to review them. I have 3 Paul Johns now, but I have 2 that are better than the other. But they can't compete with that. Amrut is the same. I have beautiful Amruts, but it's hard to describe. But it's the harmony between floral, green, fruity, chocolatey, dark chocolate, but with mocha, with other things I struggle to find, and caramel, dark caramel. There's a harmony between these notes and a length and the finish that makes it, I mean, out of this world. So that's why it's my number 1 of this year. Right, hope it was interesting. Thank you very much for watching. Tell me what you think, even if you haven't tried it. Do you love my notes? Do you want to try these? What are your thoughts? What is your favorite Indian whiskey maybe? Please tell me. And see you soon. Bye bye.